out this trace of carbon dioxide in our body. And this can lead to a feeling of dizziness. You can get sort of numbness in your fingertips, and it goes all numb. You might go blue. The problem with this, of course, is that the more you hyperventilate, the worse you feel. So the more you might hyperventilate, it's a self-exacerbating situation. So the answer to this? Brown paper bag over your mouth and nose, and breathe in and out of the brown paper bag. That's what they told me. This apparently is now being rethought of. But if it happens to you, try this first, because it's a very simple thing to do. And what you're doing there, in fact, is the carbon dioxide that you breathe out into the bag, you are then rebreathing again on your next breath in. And your level of carbon dioxide, the required level of carbon dioxide in your blood, will be brought back up to what it should be. Now, when we are training for high-altitude flight, we have to go in what's called the decompression chamber. And this is actually what I wrote when I was doing a run in the decompression chamber under training. Now, when it starts off up here, this was my name. It's the name of my parents' house, where we lived. And as it goes down and I become more affected by hypoxia, you can see that it becomes down here, it's a total scroll. Up here, it is meaningless, absolutely meaningless. DJ blank Shire ER. I have no idea what that was. The danger of this is, up there, I thought I was doing equally as good a job as I was doing up there. You have no idea that your performance is suffering. This is why hypoxia or anoxia is so critical to pilots, and it has been contributory to a couple of serious accidents in the past. The American golfer Stuart Payne, you may remember him a few years ago, his Learjet climbed up to its cruising altitude, the pilots lost consciousness, the aircraft then flew on till it ran out of fuel, and then it just descended and crashed. Stuart Payne was also killed. Now, as I say, this is part of our training. And when you're on board the aircraft, normally the cabin is pressurized to within 6,000 and 8,000 feet. So even if you're flying at 35, 37, 39, 40,000 feet, the cabin will be pressurized to the same conditions as you would get on top of a mountain 6,000 or 8,000 feet above sea level. So you will feel a little bit breathless if you're exerting yourself in the cabin. Now, let's take 35,000 feet, for example. I think that is quite an optimistic time of useful consciousness. What they mean by that is the time that your brain is going to remain in a functional condition, being able to make rational decisions. I would have thought for people of our sort of vintage, 35,000 feet, I would probably be looking at between 10 and 20 seconds, depending on your respiratory efficiency, to be honest. So that is why it is so important when those little oxygen masks drop down that you get those on straight away, and they do stress this as part of the safety briefing. And you must always, always get yours on first before you attempt to help anybody else. Because if you don't get yours on and you lose consciousness, you're useless to anybody else around you, your children or anybody else who may be traveling with you. So that's the important aspect of that. And what they do is they put us in this, what they call decompression chamber, and we do 2 runs on 2 separate days. And we have, the first day they take us up to 24,000 feet. They make us breathe pure oxygen on the way up there. This purges quite a lot of the nitrogen out of the blood, so we don't get the bends when they decompress us. So up here, you've got about, I don't know, 3 to 4 minutes probably of useful consciousness before you begin to lose a little bit of your brain activity, of your brain function. So that is what we do on that one. Then the second time, they will take us up and they will decompress us from 25,000 feet up to 43,000 feet in 6 seconds. Which is called an explosive decompression. In other words, all the air rushes out of the cabin in a space of 6 seconds, instead of it being a slow, insidious onset of this problem. So normally it's about 6 or 8 blokes go up in the chamber at the same time. I was just a volunteer for this, because the feeling you get as you become hypoxic is one of euphoria. It's like being wonderfully intoxicated. It's as if you've had too much to drink, you're having a wonderful time, nothing matters, everything's absolutely fantastic. Doesn't matter what you're doing, you're making a complete ass of yourself, but everything's fun. And this is the way that, that we are going to look at it in a moment. Now, after me this morning, we've got Professor Bert Kerrigan coming on to do a talk on the rights, wrongs, the ethics of the death penalty. Now, Michael Portillo, one of our politicians, I don't know if you're all familiar with Michael Portillo, he was carrying out an investigation into the death penalty. I hope I'm not treading onto Bert's territory here. But he went to the States to see if he could come up with a better form of execution. We're not here to debate the rights and wrongs, don't get me wrong. But he went to the States to see if he could come up with a better form of execution. If you're going to execute somebody, do it with the minimum stress, the minimum pain involved. And he looked at hanging, shooting, gassing, lethal injection, and the gas chamber, the 5 that they use still in the United States. And he said, why don't they use this system here? It's very much more humane. So this is what he did. It's called ethical execution or exit of choice. Somebody who is really, really ill and has decided that they want to go to Dignitas in Zurich in Switzerland. No, 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 no. This is a much, much nicer way to go. And this is Michael's run in the chamber. The first thing you'll see is as the cabin decompresses, this is the first indication that you would get if it ever happens to you, that you would see this mist and the temperature would suddenly drop in the chamber. So here's Michael. He's undergoing the chamber experiment now, and I'll leave the guy to talk. I will just interrupt when I think you need more information.
This is a risky experiment, as unconsciousness can occur quite suddenly.
That's the decompression.
That was a sudden change.
And this is what we call a rapid decompression. Just recover, so...
Green switch on. That's your mind.
Tell me what you're experiencing.
A little bit giddy.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit lightheaded.
Physiologist Dr. Hans Wittenberg is monitoring Michael's condition by asking him to complete basic tasks.
Can you show me by sticking up your fingers how much 9 minus 5 is?
9 minus 5 would be 4.
Excellent. What card is this?
That's the 8 of clubs.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Michael's brain is suffering from oxygen starvation, making him feel drunk, euphoric, and overconfident.
Can you hold this up for me?
I can hold it up, yeah.
And can you put the shape in it as well?
All right, I'm looking for... I was looking for... I can't see that one.
That's here. You see? What is it?
Okay.
Excellent. What kind of card is this?
It's the 3 of diamonds.
3 of diamonds?
Yeah.
You've got another shape for you. Can you put it in?
Yes, it's the star. Yes.
Michael will eventually face an ultimate test. Will he be able to switch his oxygen back on and save his life? Or will he be too far gone to care?
How much is 8 minus 3?
8 minus 3 is 4. 8
Is it 4?
minus 3. No, 8 minus 3 is...
Michael is dangerously hypoxic.
Okay. I think it's time to recover, Michael. Can you put up the switches? 6 minutes. Put up the switches. We will die.
just swing the mask back on.
He's experiencing what appears to be the perfect method of execution, and he doesn't care.
Put up the switches. We will die. Put up the switches. Put up the switches. Can you tell me how you feel now? How do you feel?
I feel much better.
Very good. How much is 8 minus 3?
5, definitely, 5.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Hans, thank you. Michael.
Where are we now, Captain?
Well, actually, we're descending now to sea level again. We are at 26,000 feet.
How much longer until I would have been unconscious?
Well, a matter of seconds.
Really?
I guess 10 to 20 seconds, and then
And from there to death?
that's your final destination then.
If Hans hadn't stepped in then,
He saved your life today.
you're kidding.
Be very thankful.
Thank you.
But overall, Michael, was it painful?
No, I thought the experiment was a failure because I was getting all the answers right. Did I get all the answers right?
In the end, no.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought I was doing really well.
Yeah.
I thought I'd outwitted you.
Well, I certainly.
Anyway, that's Michael and his run in the decompression chamber and the effect of this lack of oxygen that it has on the brain. Somebody I spoke to after one of the talks that I did, they said that we're not sure if we should thank the man who saved Michael Portillo's life or not, which although it was a little bit unkind, I must admit. Just very quickly, moving on to the demon drink. Of course, we're not allowed to drink anything at all within 8 hours of flying. I always used to leave between 12 and 24 hours of flying, but I'm just a goody-goody. They say you're only an alcoholic if you drink more than your doctor, which I think is probably true. And I was coming back from Singapore to London one day, and on board the flight, we had a drunk who was completely out of order, absolutely making a complete moron of himself in the cabin. And the cabin crew phoned me up and they said, we've got a bit of a problem here, Captain, but I've just been approached by a passenger who is the captain of the London Metropolitan Police rugby team who are traveling on the flight, and they said they would be delighted to assist in any way that they possibly can. Now, generally, we would never ask passengers to get involved in any domestic fracas within the cabin. But on this particular occasion, I was delighted to be able to say, yeah, go on, let them have him, which they did. They just put him in pincers, in a pincer movement, got those plastic handcuffs on him, put him in his seat. He was taken off in London by the cops, came up in front of Uxbridge magistrates the following morning, and he went down for 8 months in the nick for being drunk on board an aircraft. Fatigue, that's one of our worst enemies, of course. Long-term fatigue, especially if we don't get adequate quality of sleep, perhaps in a noisy hotel by day before we set off on a night flight. Was there any cure for jet lag? I'm not sure. I never actually found one. I tried everything. I tried staying on home time. I tried putting my watch onto the local time of my destination before departure to try and fool the brain into thinking it. I tried sleeping pills. Temazepam was one of the favorite ones used by the RAF crews during the Falklands War when they had to fly, sleep, fly, sleep, fly, sleep. So this is the pill that was given to them. I tried melatonin. I didn't try Rohypnol, well, not on myself anyway. There was an old captain explaining to a young co-pilot how he had managed to overcome the jet lag bit, and because the young co-pilot was having terrible trouble sleeping while he was away from home. So the captain said, well, what I've found, he said, to be honest with you, is that I'm married to a much younger woman, and when I land at the airport, I get on the phone, I phone her up and say, I'll be home in an hour, darling. She gets the jacuzzi on, gets it all nicely heated, so when I walk through the door, we go into the jacuzzi. She brings me a lovely glass of single malt whiskey. She gives me a lovely massage in the jacuzzi, and then we adjourn to the bedroom where she does what she does best, and I drift off into the most beautiful sleep ever. And he said, that works. He said, you try it. So they were flying again a couple of weeks later, and the captain said to the co-pilot, he said, did you try what I suggested? He said, as a matter of fact, I did, Captain. He said, I cannot thank you enough. He said, it was absolutely fantastic. And he said, that is a fantastic jacuzzi you've got. Very good. I'm going to have to stand down now to let Bert come on. Bert's coming on to give us his take on the death penalty, rights, wrongs, and everything else, which I'm sure you'll find very interesting too. So once again, thanks very much. I do hope you found that of some interest and some entertainment. And I'm back again on Monday, I think, at 11 o'clock when we're going to be doing Glamour in the Skies, which is all about our gorgeous cabin crew and how we interact with them. And we have a bit of fun on that one as well. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Okay. You may be ready, but I'm not. You stopped that about 3 slides too early, and I wasn't quite ready for you. I wasn't sure if something had gone wrong with the sound system or not. Let me just bring up the one that we want for this talk this morning. We took off a little bit late yesterday, so we're taking off a little bit early this morning. That's what it is, to make up for that lost time. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming in to, sadly, the last of our talks on this particular cruise here. And this one is, it's a slight contrast to the ones I have done up until now. It's a very light-hearted look at the joys or otherwise of air travel in the early part of the 21st century. I hope you find it entertaining anyway. I enjoy giving it, and it proves normally to be one of the popular talks. That's why I keep it to the end. And as I said to you at the start of the talks, I am not renowned for being politically correct, I have to tell you. And during the course of the talk today, you may find that I do stray into territory. It's not meant to make you uncomfortable. I mean, please, anything I say, please take it either with a pinch of salt or with the whole salt cellar, depending on what you think it actually is. Before we start today, I just want to give you a little conundrum, and this is a test, or it's an interview question rather than a test, given to pilots who are applying to join an airline, and I want you to come up with an answer for it. I want you all to assume now that you are pilots. You've been made into pilots instantly overnight, okay? No, you're not captains. Don't get any ideas above your station. I'm the captain. You're co-pilots, okay? And you're on your first trip with a captain with whom you have not flown before. Okay? So let's say your first sector is from London down to Bangkok, perhaps, and then from Bangkok you're going to go down to Sydney. So you check in, you meet your captain, and you get on very well together on the flight down to Bangkok. You have a nice chat, and you find that you've got lots of things in common. You both like a round of golf, you both like a game of tennis, you both like sailing, perhaps you're interested in Formula One motor racing. So when you get to Bangkok, normally in the evening, the crew will arrange to meet in the evening in the bar for a drink and then go out for something to eat. So you arrange to meet your captain in the bar at, say, 7 o'clock. You leave your room, you go down to the bar, you're just about to walk in when, standing at the bar, you see your captain wearing a dress. Now, how are you going to cope with this? Are you going to hope that nobody's seen you, that your captain hasn't seen you, so you can tiptoe out again, back up to your room and hide there until call time the next day? Or are you going to walk into the bar and say, "Evening, nice dress, Captain"? Or how would you deal with it? Any ideas? Yes, sir.
The assumption that we're all making is that the captain is a male. The captain may well be female, in which case wearing a dress is appropriate.
What an absolute genius. This man gets the job. Your captain is female. But even when I deliver this talk to an all-female audience, as I do at various ladies' clubs, none of them say, "Why don't you do the normal thing and buy her a drink?" Very good, sir. Well done. I appreciate that. That's good lateral thinking. Wonderful. Right. Now, what we're going to look at today is, have we got some people, anybody from Yorkshire with us? Yeah, wonderful. You'll like this one. Have you flown with Yorkshire Airways at all? It's a great airline, honestly. I used to work for an airline based out of Leeds Bradford Airport, but this is a slightly different Yorkshire airline, and it's about 2 Yorkshire people. They're trying to decide where to go on holiday and who they should fly with, and this is the advertisement for Yorkshire Airways.
Off on your holes? Don't know who to fly with? Then why don't you go up and away with Yorkshire Airlines? Our Air Dorises will always give you the warmest of welcomes.
Wipe my bloody feet!
Our flight crew are the very best.
This is Captain Boycott speaking. During the flight, we'll be flying at whatever height I like for as long as I bloody like, because I'm captain, right?
Our facilities are second to none. And your safety is our concern.
Right, you lot. Shut up, belt up, and if you can't see the bloody exits, you must be bloody blind.
There's top in-flight entertainment. Whether you're seated comfortably in working class,
Yes, sir.
Look at that luxury.
or if you have more brass than sense, you can fly Alan Bennett class. International cuisine is of the highest standard.
Yorkshire Airlines, departing Leeds International Airstrip, touching down 20 minutes later at Leeds International Airstrip. Because if it's outside Yorkshire, it's not worth bloody visiting.